Hey everyone, and welcome back to Serena's Toy Room. So, I thought I would clean a few of my Monster High dolls. I have most of my G1 collection out on display, but I don't have room for all of them, unfortunately. So I do have a few of them in a bin here, or a box rather, random mermaid high doll, because I used her clothes for something. So I just have some other dolls in here, and it's a shame because some of them I really love and I'd love to have them on display, but I just don't have the space, unfortunately. So I'm gonna select a few and we'll clean them up together to show them that they're still loved. And most of the dolls in here are really gluey, so they desperately need some glue removal. Here's Jennifer. I did her whole degluing tutorial on her on Instagram and TikTok if you want to check that out. The names are in the description. I'm in desperate need of some escapism. I'll talk a little bit more about it in the voiceover. I just got done texting my mother and telling her how I feel about some things around here, and it wasn't very fun. Girls, I am not happy living here. I'm actually quite miserable, and that's why I've been posting a lot more on Instagram and YouTube as like an escape, not only for my new era, but just to distract from the horrors, which will be the title of this video, I think. Cleaning Monster High dolls to distract from the horrors. Scarce, Rochelle, and Frankie are pretty gluey. I did the OxyClean treatment on them a few years ago, and as you can see, the glue came back, so that method is definitely not the most effective. To have it be effective, you'd have to do it like a couple of times. Katrine is okay. She's very discolored, as you can see, or maybe not. Yeah, she's like very yellow. She's always kind of been that way. I may do her another time though. Of course the Green Beach dolls are all the way at the bottom. Isn't that always the case? Oh shit, they're not even in here. Goodbye. They're in the other bin. Here they are. I have like a whole other bin of dolls, so I just went through that whole box for nothing. So Frankie, let's see. She's okay. We can do her next time. Jackson, definitely. His hair is like white. He's like giving Silver Fox because it's like excess powder from the Oxy treatment I gave him last time. And he has like a greasy forehead. Yeah, he definitely needs a wash. Skullshore's Frankie, the color variant, is glue-free, but her hair is so extremely yellow, it's actually disgusting. Let's pick one more doll. I think I'm going to do Jackson, Scarce, Rochelle, and Frankie. We'll do one more doll. Let's see, girls. Miss Gigi, her hair is a hot mess. The elastic broke. Oh yeah, she's very hard-headed. Yeah, let's do Gigi. Okay, we got our 4 dollies today. Rochelle's hat is still tacked down to her head, and I really don't want to remove it because I just know it's going to come off all the time if I do. So hopefully we can work around it a little bit. Alright, I'm going to time-lapse while I clean them. In the US it's called SIF, but in Canada it's film. I've talked about this in other videos. But that helps remove the glue from the heads, in case you're curious. I have a whole tutorial of it again on my Instagram and TikTok. I suggest wearing latex gloves while doing this. I just don't feel like going upstairs to get them, to be quite honest with you. Do as I say, not as I do. Probably for the best if you wear gloves when working with cleaning products. But I am wearing these gloves, so if you're wondering why I always wear these in videos, it's because I hate my hands and my arms and I don't want them to be in videos. So yes, I will be washing dolls with fingerless gloves on. I never really like to talk about my personal life all that much on my channel. I always kind of like to keep it just focused on the dolls for the most part. I like my channel to be like an escape, not just for me, but for other people to just talk about dolls and have a little key. But sometimes I get a little down and I need to vent to the girls. So I moved into this house with my mom and my siblings in like 2021, and I moved out in September of 2022. It was just getting to be too much living with her. She had me doing all the chores and stuff. Like literally, I would do the house from top to bottom. There's like 3 levels to the house. So I would do the house from top to bottom, and she would still complain that I didn't do enough. Like I spot cleaned the whole thing, and my siblings did not help whatsoever. And they're plenty old enough to help, and they never did, so it was all on me. As a teenager, I remember being so afraid of growing up and having to move out someday, because I couldn't imagine living on my own and not having my mom to help me anymore. But then when the time came to actually move out, I like literally couldn't wait. I couldn't take the verbal abuse anymore. I couldn't take being neglected and walked all over. So I said, I'm moving out. It was like I was Cinderella, my family was the wicked stepmother and the stepsisters, and my grandmother was my fairy godmother, because she helped me so much in getting my apartment. Like, I don't know if I could even have done it without her, honestly. Like, 'cause I don't know anything about that sort of stuff. It was my first time. And if you're wondering why I was so hyper-fixated on Disney princesses at that time, if you follow me on Instagram, like, that was my whole thing for a minute. Of course, I still love them, but, like, it was my obsession at the time. It was because I felt like Cinderella. Like, obviously, you can sense some similarities there. I've loved the princesses for as long as I can remember. They're always dreaming of a better life, whether it's to escape an abusive situation or just dreaming of something better than the mundane. Always dream of a better life, and in the end they get their happily ever after. I just like attached to that so badly. I was just dreaming and dreaming of a happily ever after someday. When I moved into my apartment, I really thought, this is happily ever after. Like, I did it. I'm away from the terror. I can be independent. And for the first few months, it was wonderful. But then something kind of traumatic happened. I won't get into it. My mental health took a deep spiral from there. I low-key haven't been the same since. That was like a huge pivotal moment in my life. And the rent just kept getting higher and higher, and I couldn't be there anymore. And my grandma said, okay, you need to face reality, girl. You should probably move back home. You can barely make rent. You can't buy any groceries, and you can't afford anything. And I was like, I am not going back to my mom's house. Trigger warning. I would rather kill myself than move back home. And when I made that one video, which is now privated, if you know, you know, moving back was a big reason for that video. It wasn't the main reason. That was one of the major factors. Like, I was facing realities that I had to move back home, and I could not take it. To me, it was so humiliating to be like, I don't need you. I am gonna move out. I'm gonna be independent, to crawling back to mama's house with my tail between my legs. But I've kind of accepted it. And the one thing that kind of kept me going through the whole thing was, imagine how nice redecorating will be. Because ever since becoming alternative, I've wanted to kind of have a space that reflected on that. And of course, I love pink still. I love the princess stuff. But I didn't really like the princess apartment anymore. Dramatic things happened in that apartment, and looking at all the princess stuff reminded me of some not so nice memories. So even though I loved that stuff, like, I didn't really want that in my new room. I wanted it to reflect who I am now. That was like the best part about moving back. And for the first few months, it was fine. Like, for the holidays and stuff, like, it was a key. But then in January, things started feeling a lot like they did when I was here originally. But I have a bit more of a backbone now than I did then, so I refuse to be Cinderella. I won't have my mom walk all over me, and I'm not gonna, like, detail the house every single day. Like, my siblings are much older now. Like, they're much more than capable of washing a dish. And if the house is a mess, it's not my doing, it's theirs. Like, they can clean up after themselves. I pay my rent, that should be enough. The worst part of it all is my mom wasn't always this way. She used to be so fun and caring and family-oriented. The mom that I knew died like 7 years ago, I want to say. She hasn't been the same since. She's an alcoholic. She's neglectful. She barely bothers with her children. She'd much rather party with her friends at her grown-ass age than be a parent. I, like, can't even go into detail about all the terror that I've encountered in the past 4 months while living here, but trust me, it's been awful. I'm not the only one that feels this way. My 3 siblings are also feeling it, and it's so heartbreaking. Because I'm an adult, but they're still minors. Like, they should have their mother, like, as guidance, because I can only do so much. Like, you're in your mid-40s, acting like a college student. How am I collecting children's toys and somehow I'm more mature than you? Make it make sense. This past weekend was really the straw that broke the camel's back, because she had these random-ass people I've never seen in my life over the whole weekend, all night, all throughout the morning, partying, yelling, listening to loud-ass music, and making a mess. I did not get a wink of sleep for both nights. And my brother was here. My 2 other siblings were at their dad's house, but my other brother was here, and he couldn't even come down from his room because he was like, who the hell are these people? And that was really a breaking point for me. So before this video even started, I was on my floor texting her, like, I'm so done with you. Like, I'm gonna pay my rent and mind my business. Until you can act like a parent, I do not fuck with you. She was basically saying, like, oh, I'm sorry, like, I get where you're coming from. It's always sorry with her, but she never gets it, and she never will. I'm done biting my tongue, and I'm done with her. Yeah, to make a long fucking story short, I've been going through it, girls. It's been hell here, and I hate it so much. and I really wish I could be back in my apartment. I miss it so much. I miss it every single day. I like could cry right now. That was kind of a lot. I apologize. I got like way more personal than I expected to, but I really just needed to get that off my chest. But you know what really gets me through all this terror? My music and my Monster High dolls. My dolls in general, but specifically Monster High. And that's why I'm so like invested in this series that I'm making, because it's like a fantasy world. When I close my eyes to go to sleep at night, I just imagine that world that I've made up for the series. It's like a whole world in my head, basically. And that's kind of what I've done with like a lot of my series in a way. Really an escape. Like it might be horrific outside my bedroom door, but in here it's comforting. And that's why I spend so much time in here. The older I get, the more kind of insecure I feel about still making doll shows. But it really is like a coping mechanism in a way. And it's kind of a bonus that people just so happen to enjoy it. When I'm invested in a doll show, like I'm really invested. Like you guys probably would know in the early days of Rolling Meadows High and stuff like that. Like I take it so seriously. And I do feel a little bit embarrassed sometimes on Instagram when I talk about it too much. That's kind of like a thing of mine. Like I kind of feel like everyone hates me sometimes when I post too much about something. But I kind of can't help it. Like it's really like my G3 characters, like my interpretation of them and my original characters I've made for the show are such an immense comfort to me, and I love them so much. So I'm sorry if it's a little cringy to you sometimes, but it helps me from ending myself. You really never know what someone is going through, and I know a lot of other people in the doll community use dolls as a coping mechanism for their mental health. And especially in these trying times when the world is beyond cruel, I think it is so important that we all be kind to each other, and I really try to be a friend to everyone I encounter in the doll community. If any of you watching are going through the horrors like I am, feel free to DM me on Instagram or something, because I'd be happy to talk with you if you need a friend. Okay, girlies, the dolls are all cleaned up and ready to go. They look much better. Their hair is so shiny and glue-free. I hope you guys enjoyed this video despite the not-so-pleasant subject matter, I guess. Despite my princess era being over, I still believe one day if I dream hard enough, my wishes will come true, and I'll be away from the terror indefinitely. Until then, I have to live with the evil queen. Not even the good evil queen. It's like the Gal Gadot version of the evil queen. To anyone watching who is going through a rough time or has a less than pleasant home life, my heart goes out to you because I know how it feels. Again, if you need a ghoul friend to talk to, hit me up on Instagram. Truthfully, I'm not the best at giving advice and stuff. Like, I'm very awkward sometimes, but I'll try my best, of course, to help you out and stuff. But if you need someone to vent to, I'll listen. So yeah, be kind to other people. Until next time, comment, like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye, guys!